Oh, hello, this is Kate again about my lotto. I've got my 300 and something words here. So I'm just outside the library using my free internet. Um, this was a letter to Alan Dale on the 3rd of August 2014, about the same time as it is today, about 2:30. Uh, I was basically clear on the winning square, but not as clear on the other squares. But the winning square was chosen very spur of the moment, but with great thought behind sentiment. That is why it's so clear to me. But anyway, it wasn't very good on the computer there. Another thing is that, actually here, there's a receipt of the day. I had a couple of receipts of the day, and they were surprised that I found 2 receipts 6 months later. So I've got that as evidence. I've got my son as evidence. I found a lady after 4 years as evidence. Unfortunately, there was no CCTV footage in the store, and the store and the shopping centre were not helpful, and Lotto were not helpful. Their policy is that they give you 3 goes, and you really have to spot on know the exact time to the second that you purchase the ticket. Like if you said 2:39 and it was 2:38, they'll just tell you no, that wasn't your ticket. If you said 2:40, 2:37, they'll say no, it's not your ticket as well. So it's very hard to prove you win if you can't get the exact second. And then when you do try, they tell you that you've had too many goes at it. Anyway, so the time I know when I bought my ticket, and it was an afternoon, and I know the exact day, and I know how many squares that I could afford, but I also know that I had made a mistake and I got some more money for tea, so I perhaps added the 7th number. Just looking at the investigation report. Actually, this is some my notes. Dear Executive Director, I believe I won Lotto draw 3315 and must now correspond with you. I went to News Extra a few years since my accident, exact date, and a few months since my son's, since I bought the lucky but unlucky ticket. The store has no surveillance. I found that out from the Justice Department after having an internal and external review, because there was little flaws in the policy. Like the Justice Department gave me a 1-month investigation, and after just under a month, the guy that was investigating, Mr. Dale, all along he was, going along with information I was giving him, and people were telling me, be confident, you're the only one, which was 6 months into, after the Lotto had won, I had been the only one that had been investigated by the Justice Department. Anyway, so I had a bit of like high hopes. But anyway, Mr. Dale was doing the investigation, and a day possibly into, the cut-off date, he gave me a phone call. I don't have that phone anymore, but I was in a public place and it was a rather sheepish call from him. I don't know why. Maybe he felt like I was going to be upset at what he was going to say, or I felt like to me he was covering something up. And he goes, "Oh, Kathy, I have to tell you that you are not the rightful winner." And there were vast differences in the information you provided. And I know I can remember filling out the numbers and I can remember the date. So I can't see how there would be vast differences. And then later I found out that he actually hadn't even viewed any database or had not even really talked to people from Lotto till I had had an internal and an external review. So I feel like he was bullshitting me. Anyway, yeah, I know this is getting a bit boring. This is all my info that I downloaded from the library, which cost me $61. And it's okay. Oh, here's just one of my letters. We are Misha and Kathy, mother and son, who purchased winning lotto ticket. I put good afternoon. No doubt about that, 100%. We were out and about that day, which we have at least have documented. We had a doctor test appointment. That was my son after his diving accident, and I only realised that later. We have a receipt from Hungry Jack's lunchtime and Target, one before the doctor appointment, Target, one after Hungry Jack's, previously shown to Office of Liquor and Gaming, 2014. The ticket was therefore presumably from our recall purchased after this time, but later in the afternoon, toward our tea time. So after purchasing the ticket, Kathy's mother went directly to Coles and bought some food for tea. Perhaps you should not ring this number till we ask permission from Lady, that we by chance, or rather Mum recognised after nearly 4 years. I'll withhold her name. Anyway, this lady, Mum found out, had 7 children. Mum would like to go halves as she helps to prove this win with a credit card statement. The lady asked Mum why she knew which day of purchase was the right day. Mum relayed that she could remember day as it was our grandparents' wedding anniversary, and my grandmother was very sick. She has since passed on. I, of course, I am Misha, and this is my claim at present, but really, the lotto ticket purchase was me and Mum's, Kathy. Okay, going back to Coles, it appears this lady also went to Coles the day we did. Mum had a hell of a time trying to get some footage. The security said they had footage of that day. Of course, we know they cannot give it to everyone. It is our hope that even though the shopping centre has changed owners, that there actually is some footage to show our being in the store. Just the hard time Mum had in this regard, she reckoned she could write a book on. Mum rang a week later of buying ticket when she found out our ticket had won to ask if there was footage of that day. A security guard answered yes. Then when Mum told him what for, he said no. Then another on the same day said yes, they keep footage for 1 month. Mum and I think she should have been smarter and said she lost her bag. Then she may have had some chance. We still hope that within a week of the win, it was in the Cairns Post, and the Lotto spokesperson Alyssa Lewis was talking about win. We hope that Lotto in this instance actually may be able to access footage if there is some. Anyway, going back to the win, we hope to very soon have a credit card receipt of someone, the lady that I was just talking about, actually followed in our footsteps. Mum had never met her but remembered her luckily by sight, and after 4 years met her in the Brothers Club as she had an inkling the punter that bought the ticket next to hers may have been a punter, and luckily bingo occurred around Mum's birthday, a big bingo draw, so Mum went to bingo, and bingo she met the lady she'd been looking for. Such a godsend. Had Mum gone to bingo 4 years ago, she would have met the lady straight away, we hope, as the lady is a regular bingo goer. The story is Mum was downstairs in an auditorium, the think of our win, when she turned around and on the stairs buying a bingo ticket was the lady, and Mum then walked up to her and said, "This might seem out there a bit strange, but me and my son purchased a lotto ticket, lost it at a very tumultuous time," and Mum relayed that she remembered this lady being sporty and having had bought the ticket on the shop register or ledger right after hers. Amazingly, the lady told Mum she bought the ticket the draw day, and she went to check her ticket at the new lodging and checking also ticket machine, and it was not a winner. But then the lady threw the ticket away and then found out the machine at Cairns Central, another close by shopping centre, was faulty. After that, the lady heard about the win and thought the winning ticket may have been hers. So 2 days later, she emailed Mum a credit card receipt with her purchase in bold. So basically, the lady checked her ticket and it came up not a win, but I believe she bought a quick pick anyway. And she was willing to help me because I was stressing out so much, and she knew what it felt like to think that you may have won. And also 4 years later to actually be able to send me her credit card statement. Her husband actually sent it to me through email, was rather delightful. Not that anyone's really doing anything about it at this stage, but it will go towards circumstantial evidence. I've been told by a forensic accountant, if I find one more witness, that will make me, my son, that lady, another one, that's 4 of us in total, then I've got a good case. Or if I can find a receipt of that day, and being a hoarder, sadly, but unsadly, if that's a word, I might be able to find the ticket. I still have to purchase a blue light to look at faded tickets. Anyway, I'm still reading this letter that my son wrote. Mum had to be careful not to say too much, as before, when Mum, out of nervousness, talked about what had happened, even documented to some of her friends at Cairns Casino all the details. The number in supposed claimants went up probably 500%. That is, so basically I told people and wrote down the exact numbers, how I chose them, and a lot more people, a myriad of people started to try and claim this ticket. This lady had also asked Mum, when did Mum buy her ticket? Mum answered, being careful, in inverted commas. The lady asked Mum if she knew the numbers. Mum told her and also asked, how do you know if you got the day right? Mum answered, a lot going on at the time, and it was Mum and Dad's anniversary, and Grandma was ill. Sadly, our beautiful Lucy grandmother has passed on, and Mum believes she's helping guide us to this win. Anyhow, me a little, but Mum never forgets even how exactly the winning numbers were chosen. But she also knows there was an editing on ticket and feels that as it was easy, and she learnt 7 numbers did not cost too much, while she left a mean mistake in the lady account. She left, oh, this writing's bad, but anyway, the 7th number could have been 8, 17, 19 or 21, we feel. That's because they're significant numbers to us. We know there's quite a lot of numbers, but there are significant numbers, even numbers that my grandma chose. Thank you for getting this far. My grandma was such a wonderful person to everyone. We all feel she's here with us, helping us to prove this win. We can tell you a side. Anyway, I don't want to bore you. I might go into the library now and see that this is okay. Thank you.